Good morning. So we have been talking a lot about decisions. FICO World, after all, is the decisions conference. Now, most decisions need to be acted upon, in which case you will need to communicate that decision and engage a human being into taking that action. So I'm here to talk to you about FICO Customer Communication Solutions, which allow you to engage your customers. Now, Will Lansing, when he opened this conference for us, talked to us about how little we actually want to talk to a call center agent. And the younger the person in question, the less they want to talk to a call center agent. When you're a teenager, you don't want to talk to anyone, especially not your mother. Gartner made a prediction about 4 years ago now that 85% of all engagements with an enterprise will be done without a human being. That was back 4 years ago when 2020 was a dim and distant future. Our clients are achieving these percentages already, particularly in the areas of collections and fraud verification. So, what do we do? Customer communication services provide interactive, intelligent, digital communication services. But how do you turn that interaction into engagement? What does a good digital engagement look like? Digital journey needs to be very similar to your overall customer experience. It cannot compete with it. It needs to be complementary. So you need to have that similar path. You need to offer the end user a choice of how often, how much, how deeply they want to engage with you. And finally, they need to have an out. And what I mean by that is that we need to give them an option to switch from digital to analog when they need to. We might not want to talk to anyone until we need to talk to someone. There is nothing more frustrating than needing that help, representative help, and not being able to find a button to contact them, be sent to an FAQ page. When you want to talk to someone, you need to talk to someone. So we need to have that option to make that digital journey truly good and truly valuable to the end user. The benefits to you, to the enterprise, are quite obvious, not least the cost savings that automation gives you. But what it really means for you to automate those transactions is it lets you scale your best people. A customer representative can only serve one customer at a time, and they also need to eat and sleep occasionally. Automating the mundane things that are easily automated allows you to focus your energy, your effort, your investment into those interactions that add value to your enterprise. And finally, we're living in the world of data. Customer interactions generate a new set of behavioral data that you can analyze and that you can inform your decisions with. So very important to harness that digital journey data and use it. Good analytics need a lot of data, so let me give you a little bit of an idea of the scale of FICO's customer communication services. Last year, we generated over 1 billion customer interactions. When we say we have global coverage, we mean it. We sent messages to over 170 countries around the world. Now, with this being November, I'm sure you're all gearing up for this great shopping bonanza called Black Friday. Last year, on 23rd of November, in this country alone, we generated 2.3 million fraud alerts for our clients' customers. And Black Friday, make no mistake, it's a great export from the United States, possibly thanks to our friends at Amazon. But we're all gearing up for it. Our clients in the UK are gearing up for Black Friday. In Asia, in Latin America, it's very important to protect all those transactions as best we can. And when there is something suspicious, we let the end user know. Now, my friend Bruno used this great city's grid pattern to demonstrate the structure that guides our design of strategy director. Now I have another great city, in my opinion, landmark to share with you. This is the London Tube map. Now, if you have had the misfortune to travel on our underground, I'm sure you will agree that it's complicated, it's vast, it's difficult to navigate, it's old. In places, it's 150 years old. Very often, lines get closed, stations get overcrowded, there is a big event, or our favorite, there's a strike on. So not only do you need to find your way from A to B, you also need to change that journey mid-flow because you have to, or you just want to. Now, what makes this map really special is that it presents complexity in a very simple view. And it achieves that by removing things that don't matter. When you're underground, things like distances, scale, streets don't matter. All you need to know, where do I get on, how do I count my steps, and where do I get off? You need to know the lines, you need to know their relative position, and if you need to change your journey, you need to know where you change your trains. And that's really it. So it provides you a journey planner, and it provides you options to change that journey when you need to. With that picture in mind, let me introduce you to the FICO Customer Communication Services design environment. Very much like that map, it's a journey planner. And these are actual customer journeys where we map out how that communication is going to look like, what are the relative modes of communication, and what happens from A to Z. Now, the technology that underlines this great design is cloud native. Now, what that really means, it's infrastructure independent. So we can design, we can build, we can test, and we can promote these journeys into production in a very rapid fashion because we're no longer dependent on the infrastructure, right? It's all very drag and drop, and it looks very much like a simple map where all the extraneous design elements don't matter. We're focusing on the journey, and we can change it, and we can play with it, and we can alter it, whether out of necessity or on a whim, as we need to. Because it's cloud native, it's enabling us to capture and stream all those events of communication straight into our data lake and make them available for analytics, not just our own to improve the journey, but also for the overall FICO platform analytics. Us being FICO, we're fully integrated into FICO solutions, into Originations Manager, into Strategy Director, Falcon and Falcon X, integrated, fully analytics-driven, geared to help you get that customer to act upon a decision that those systems have made. Now, what might that journey look like? The use cases and examples are vast, just like the millions of customers that we serve. So I just have a few examples for you. So in originations, you might be applying for a loan, and you might need to submit an additional document, a photo, a proof of address, proof of income. The ability that you have with that powerful computing platform in your pocket that TJ talked about ought to allow you to take a photo and send it somewhere. So our electronic document exchange capability allows you to do just that. Of course, when you've actually been approved for that loan, you might need to electronically sign a contract. We enable you to do that as well. In collections, that is an area just teeming with different use cases. Lately, though, our clients really are after a very conversational type of experience, a chatbot type of experience. But what they really want to do is they want to guide that end user to help them out of the situation they found themselves in. And I chose an example here of truly completing that frictionless experience to its best possible satisfaction, making a payment. So this is an example of our mobile payment portal where that end user can actually pay the bill right then and there, whether in full or perhaps in an installment. And finally, in the area of fraud, the transaction verification interaction has been around for a while, but when we talk about fraud, the communication fraud is a huge element that is creeping up on us that we need to keep in mind. Things like SIM jackings and people taking over your actual mobile phone account are a huge loss to all of us as consumers and as for our customers. So what we are able to add is several other options to protect the actual line of communication, whether it be an additional step in authentication, an OTP, or some network intelligence that we are able to garner and apply to our analytics. So just a few examples for you. And again, the true value of FICO, and therefore FICO's customer engagement, is really in the FICO analytics. And because of our technology and because of our deep integration into the FICO platform, we're able to add the FICO analytics value into your customer engagement. Now, whether we use it to improve that engagement itself with traffic routing, with better personalization of our messages, with orchestration and prioritization of messages as well. I mean, Alex Hanold told us that the way to deal with our inboxes is just to ignore them, right? We don't want our customers to ignore that, right? We want to make sure that the really important message, this might be a fraudulent transaction, reaches them and they act on it. And analytics helps us prioritize, personalize, and optimize that journey for us. It also helps to inform the platform analytics better. Again, we provide that extra last mile, the behavior of the end user, into our analytic hopper, if you will. We can mix and match data. We can use your data. You might have your own collection strategies, for example, and we might mix that with our analytics. I talked about fraud and about communication fraud being a huge problem. It's costing about $460 billion a year for the mobile telephone industry. We can share the data with our consortia that many of you subscribe with, because as you all know, a fraudster doesn't stop with one attempt. And if we have identified a bad actor on the communication end of things, the bad phone number, the rogue mobile operator, we can better inform our fraud analytics and share it with you. Now, I know this was just a teaser from all four of us. All of us encourage you to come to the Solution Center, obviously, but what we really want you to do is come and see us. Come and experience the flexibility of our solutions. Play with our toys. Experience the structure, the convergence, and the engagement that our solutions provide.